Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. The corporate media in the United States of America, and not only, or the free mass media, the mainstream mass media, they actually trained me, if you can believe that, to pay attention to organizations, entities, people who are labeled in a certain way. So when the mainstream mass media, which I don't think works in our interest, labels someone as a far right or a movement as a far right, immediately I pay attention more than before. Or if they call someone a racist or phobic or anti this, immediately for me is like, oh, that's something interesting here. Why? Those guys must have taken the, as they call it, the red pill, which is they realize these guys are just as they are. They label you now under the umbrella of far right if they don't like what you say. And under that umbrella becomes racist, xenophobic, homophobic, fuckophobic, anti-Israel, and all that is under the umbrella of the far right. That's why when someone calls someone as far right, I'm trying to see what's going on. Who is this guy? Is he a far right? And if he is, okay, well, so, right, he's a far right. The other guys could be far left. Until you do something wrong, it doesn't mean that you say, well, I like this ideology, I like that, and this is my program, political program. What are you going to do about it? So what do we have here? We like democracy when our boy wins, correct? Correct. We like democracy when our boy loses. Well, we don't like losing, but doesn't mean that you're going to change the rules of the game. That makes you very, very unjust. If when you lose, you want to change the rules. Well, this is how these guys are doing it, together with their mass media. When someone else's boy is winning, it must be something happen over there. Something happened over there. So what do we have here? We have Mr. Geert Wilders. You know Mr. Geert Wilders? Right, he is the possibly the Prime Minister of the Netherlands. And he's someone's boy, and he's not some other's boy. So what happened with Wilders? Finally, something that I didn't really accept. I accepted Wilders being the Prime Minister of the Netherlands, but I was very skeptical that he's going to be able to form a coalition government in order to rule and be in charge. Well, he accomplished that. And now the question is, what did he give away? What did he drop in the negotiation for sharing power with the socialists or whatever they are over there? And they did something. They did a lot of things. So we have here first found out that Geert Wilders formed the coalition. That's fantastic. He is going to be probably the prime minister, but we're going to find out a few things that Geert Wilders had to tone down. And certain things he had to tone down, some others he didn't. Let me give you a few articles here and the interpretation of the mainstream mass media of the news. And obviously the label puck attached to Geert Wilders. The Telegraph opinion. The radical new Dutch government is the canary in the EU coal mine. Canary, bird. All right. So why do you have a radical and why a canary reacts? Because something big happens. Where the canary starts moving when something bad is about to happen, right? A seismic movement, right? Something like that. So that means, why don't you take care of the, how should I put it, the sensor? Why don't you, the variable that made the canary act that or react in such a way? No, they say, well, it's a radical. Why are people radical? Well, they have certain ideologies, or maybe they see something that goes too much in one direction and they become extremists on the other one. So maybe you should look at, for instance, Trump. Trump is mild, but still they called him they called him Adolf many, many times. So he's a reaction of something else. What happened? So maybe you pushed too much and the population moved, as you call it, the far extreme canary-like reaction. Indeed, you should look at your actions. So what's going on? Here's Mr. Geert Wilders. I've been following his political career for at least 15 years. It will scrap many of the net zero policies. It will cut taxes for businesses. That means, creating jobs. All right. The millionaires will become billionaires. That's the communist version. Or Karl Marx. Oh, Karl Marx was a son of a rabbi, by the way. It will put limits on net migration. It will switch to nuclear power, of course. Very good. And it will make sure farming receives the support it needs. Fantastic. Fantastic. Details are still emerging of the program of the new coalition government assembled by the leader of the Freedom Party, Geert Wilders, following his surprise victory in the elections last year. It was surprising not that he won, that he was allowed to win, because there are people over there who think exactly and even more extreme than Geert Wilders. But the fact that they allowed him to get that is big. That is big. Maybe democracy works here and there. One point is already certain, however. Wilders will issue a radical challenge to the ruling orthodoxies of the European Union, and indeed of the big state high tax policies across most of the developed world. Well, the Netherlands may well be the canary in the EU coal mine, signaling a far wider revolt against a failed political class. Yeah, owned by the financial class. Why don't you mention that? Courageous mofos from the Telegraph. Matthew Lean. He's a man and a woman at the same time. Even as the UK, traditionally the country is most resembles. Okay, no, let's move to the next one. The Social Press. The Netherlands veers like Geert sharply to the right with a new government dominated by party of Geert Wilders. Here he is. Okay, started. Ready? Anti-Islam, firebrand Geert Wilders. Let's say he's anti-Islam. Why? All right. Let's say I am Emil Kosman, which I am, and in my, let's say, household, I have Christianity, right, as a religion, and then somehow some people, not me, some people allow some other people with another religion coming over here and demanding certain kind of treatment maybe. Why would I like it? Why would I want that? Why would an Islamic country accept, let's say, Christians over there? Why would they like? Why should they? Says who? So yeah, he can be as anti whatever he wants, as these guys are putting it. What? I don't like that. Okay, I don't like that. I don't like that. Oh, you're anti that. Goddamn right I am. I like color black. I don't like pink. Yeah, you're anti-pink. Goddamn right I am against pink. That's why I wear black. Black and white. These are my colors. And blue, green, and that's about it. So remember, now it depends where you use them. But you are anti. No, I dislike that. I disagree with that. On my turf, I do what the fuck ever I want. Well, the problem is you got some traitors somewhere. And now you are under the Brussels values, which imposed on the countries that are grabbed by the balls. By whom? Everything goes to finances, economics, money. And with that, you have to control things. You have to be in power. How do you do that? Campaign donations and all that promotions. So here we have the anti-Islam firebrand Geert Wilders and 3 other party leaders agreed on a coalition deal early Thursday that veers the Netherlands towards the hard right. Really? And you're going to find out the other ones are communists. They're far right. Capping a half year of tumultuous negotiations that still left it unclear who would become prime minister. Geert. The hope, courage, and pride. I like that one. I like everybody. And I don't like the hope. I like this. And that I would change hope with certainty. Certainty, courage, and pride. Like, we're going to fucking do it. Not, let's hope. No, I'm not hoping for shit. I will do it. Or will, determination, courage, and pride. This a different kind of pride, I guess. Agreement introduces strict measures on asylum seekers. Scraps family reunification for refugees. And seek to reduce the number of international students studying in the country. All right. What if the Dutch don't want that? Well, we don't want that. You don't want more people in our country. Call me however you want. You, all right? And I'm quoting, deport people without a valid residence permit as much as possible, even forcibly. Well, you broke the law. You have to be punished. We are writing history today, Wilders proclaimed. Okay, let's see what he's got here. Oh, we're going to put the bad people here. With hard right and populist parties now part of a leading of half dozen governments in 27 nation European Union. It's a communist, how we call it, like the Soviet Union. This is how is right now European Union. They appear positioned to make gains in the bloc's June 6 to 9 election. Wilders has been a political ally of radical right and populist leaders as Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. Don't even dare. Don't fucking put Meloni in the same boat with these people. And French opposition leader Marine Le Pen. Yeah, to a certain extent. Don't put Georgia. Georgia is a washed up part of those guys. Plays for the other guys, for the other team. My friends. So, it says here, the deal said the next government will continue with existing plans to combat climate change, including continuing to pay for a climate change fund established last year. They had to negotiate. But the Farmers' Citizens Movement is part of the coalition. Good. Farmers. Good. Good. And the deal includes shooting language and concessions, soothing language and concessions to farmers who have blocked cities with tractors during disruptive speculation has centered on Ronald Platerk from the Labour Party, who shot back to prominence. So this guy wants to be what? His Labour Party is together with Wilders' party? Is that what it is? What did I tell you? Next article. Dutch, again, he is labeled anti-Islam, firebrand, far-right government set for immigration showdown with EU. Well, the problem is they signed all kind of treaties, all kind of agreements, so it's going to be hard to do that. So Geert Wilders said that he would implement the Netherlands' strictest ever migration policy as the new Dutch government pledges to quit EU asylum rules on Thursday. The plan to opt out of the European laws has put Mr. Wilders' incoming four-party right-wing coalition government on a collision course with Brussels before it has ever taken office. I didn't think they would be allowed to form a government. Again, the firebrand notorious for his fiercely anti-Islam rhetoric, okay, there you have him, and calls to ban the Quran won a shock victory in a general election 6 months ago. The sun will shine again. I think that anyone who reads the agreement between us four will see that a lot is going to change in the Netherlands. Very good. He added that predicted the strictest asylum policy ever. Here they are. So here they are, the guys in the coalition. Very good, very good. The coalition says it would also strive to limit free movement for people from countries joining the EU in the future. Well, you're right, right? No. Mr. Wilders, an ardent Eurosceptic, was forced to ditch a campaign promise to hold a Brexit-style Nexit Netflix referendum. They will do that in the future if things go well. The Prime Minister has not yet been named, but the leaders of the other parties are also ruled out. One name being mentioned is this guy, a former Labour minister who... No, Labour is left. Is socialist, communist left. So where's the far right? Well, if you dare to say you're patriotic and you are a nationalist, which means you love your nation, they label you as far right. No, that should be the middle. That should be the given. Like I say, I'm a man. Okay? I'm not going to say, well, I'm a strong man. Well, we got to prove that. You can say it how much you want. You can't just identify yourself as strong. You have to prove that. That's how reality works. In this case, they said, well, it's a left. Left wing is left. Is the right wing is the guys with nationalists and the patriotic people. They should be a given. Like, I'm a man, I'm a patriot. You're not a patriot? Fuck you. Go to the moon. Leave. We don't want you here. You got to be a patriot. Because as a patriot, you will criticize to make it better. Criticize and come with solutions. Not just, I don't like that, I don't like that, I don't like... What would you change? Well, I would ban that, I would close that, I will send those guys back, I will cut that, I will do that, I will implement that. That's how you bring solutions. And Geert Wilders has a lot of solutions. He's not going to be allowed to implement them, obviously. But I would just want to show you that this is a labor minister. So where's the far right? Just because of Geert Wilders. So spare me. Okay, now let's see the last article here. And this comes from Agence France Presse. Dutch EU opt-out on asylum could take years, Wilders told Agence France Presse. Yep, far right. There you see how these guys start over and over again. So when these guys and the other guys were what? These guys were the Telegraph, right? The Brits. This was, I think, the Telegraph as well, right? No, the Associated Press. So you have, what was this? Telegraph? So you got the Telegraph, you got Agence France Presse, Associated Press, American, and then you got Agence France Presse. They all labeled this guy far right, anti-Islam, firebrand, blah, 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 blah. You can say, well, he is. That's not far. All right. Whatever Geert Wilders is doing, I don't think it's far. And that's a reaction to the far garbage the left supposedly did. So why should be immigration and asylum one of the pinnacle values of Europe? You tell me. And if that's true, why not Israel? I want Israel to have the same values as we have, because it's the only democracy. Why don't you require them to have that? Well, you know why. So why do you want to fuck up your society? You know, bringing whomever, because we're all you destroy cultures, you destroy societies, you destroy history, you destroy traditions, you destroy many, many things that I can't say here on YouTube. That's the way it should work. You pick certain, not asylum seekers. I know not asylum seekers. I will again. And I'm like, in my country, those guys attack me. I want asylum. No. It shouldn't work that way. You go to Bangladesh. You want asylum? Bangladesh. You want asylum? I don't know, Zimbabwe. My friend from Zimbabwe. You want, let's say you got some Syrians, about, let's say, 2 million, wanting asylum. You want them in Bangladesh or in Zimbabwe? You say no? Why not? Are you... Why not? But why should the Europeans take it? Because they do it? Well, they should stop doing that. That's for sure. And if you go by that, you know, the strong takes everything, right? The strongest. Nevertheless, again, since when? And it's not only that, immigration. I understand the countries that were helped by immigration, formed by settlers, and then helped by immigration, right? So what's going on with those guys? Well, that's 2 or 3 or 4 countries. United States, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. That's it. Out of 194 or 93 countries. The rest were not formed like that. Were based on nation states, clubs, tribes, families, related. All right? Anyway, do you think if I move to Zimbabwe, I will be a Zimbabwean? If I get Zimbabwean citizenship? Do you think so? Of course not. Do you think, let's say I go over there with a Romanian wife and I go over there and move over there, we make about 5 kids over there. Do you think my kids will be Zimbabweans? Born over there? Do you think my kids will be Zimbabweans? No, they will not be Zimbabweans. They will have the citizenship. No, they are citizens of that country, but they will not be Zimbabweans. You know what I mean? So again, opt out of asylum could take years. Why do you even bother? Why is this has to be like this? Again, I say we have today in our agreement is really the most taught anti-asylum policy. Okay, you say that, but there's a lot of, you cannot opt out of EU legislation. We are working on the basis of existing treaties and existing legislation, says a European Commission spokesman. So that is your, how's that song, Hotel California? You know, you can check out, but you can never leave or something like that. So right here, you cannot opt out. You're done. We got you. We got you. We got you too. But the spokesman, Eric Mammer, added, we will wait to see what a possible new Dutch government will formally propose. Hope, courage, and pride. No. Certainty, will, determination, courage, and pride. There you go. Change that. Take that. Again, and we get to this one right here. Now this raises questions for me At least when I see that and I see Wilders. Let's a step back. And there you have it. It says the 26-page coalition agreement titled Hope, Courage and Pride also calls to examine the idea of moving the Dutch embassy to Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Why should be that my thing, a big thing for my country? And it's mentioned in this article. Why? Well, you know why. So let me see what position these guys take. Jerusalem, I know the position, bent over, pants down, and waiting. That's the position they take related to that. Jerusalem is claimed by both Israelis and Palestinians, but most governments avoid putting embassies there in order not to prejudge the outcome of negotiations for a lasting peace. No, isn't that in the when 1948 the Jewish state was formed? Wasn't that over there written clearly that Jerusalem is going to be divided and will not be a? Wasn't that the way it was? Yeah. Some people are more equal than others. And it says, taking into account solutions to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and diplomatic interests, we will examine when the embassy can be moved to Jerusalem at an appropriate time, said the report. Wilder admitted that this too would take time. We are making a survey, so it's not going to happen tomorrow. Good so far. I don't even care if they move it to, Katifa, whatever it is. But I hope it will not be in a few years' time either. It will be a very happy day when it happens. Why do you care? Why do you fucking care? Why is it happy? It's historic and it has a place in the coalition agreement. Why is it a happy day that we're going to move the embassy from those guys to those guys to 11 or 10 million people in a Middle Eastern, mostly desert country? With their religion, that is not your religion, by the way. All right? The Old Testament is not your religion. It's their religion. And you guys just took it because resentment is stronger than being strong, The other guys said, well, you got to be strong. You have to have virtue. Remember the ancient Greeks, our religions. And not only that, you can go to Celtic Glasgow. Yeah, the Celts. You go over there, you go to the Germans, they had their own religions. Go to the Romans, go to the... somehow we got rid of being strong, tell the truth, the virtues, we got virtues. You got the virtue of being weak and weep all the time and wait for mommy and daddy to help you in the next life. And if you don't do it right, they're going to keep you in the next life forever. Your actions, I understand that one. It's your fault. Why would you subscribe to the neighbor's religion when you have your own? Because their gods are stronger than my gods? Oh my God, here we go again. Superstition 2,700 years ago, back. Remember the Greeks in 400, and between 400 and 500 before Common Era, they figured out that Zeus's thunderbolt was not really Zeus. But these guys are still believing in locust invasion and signs. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Good job, Geert Wilder. Now the work really starts. We'll see how they're going to maneuver with the labor and the other guys with the farmers. I like the farmers, the labor, no, because they are usually with the left interest, with the socialists and with the, the unions. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.